Hi, I'm not Marty Levinson, and I'm threatening to sue Avy Meyer's brains out.
Hi, I'm not Marty Levinson, and I'm threatening to sue Avy Meyer's brains out.
For the real identity of the people who are trying to sue Avy Meyer's brains out, please stay tuned to the Northtown News Magazine. Hi, Avy Meyer's here, and I want you to know that Debra and Ira Silverstein have generously offered to sue my brains out. And I'm going to share the lawyer letter with you. From Cronin and Company Limited, Thomas C. Cronin, Silversteins versus Jewish Chicago, and Silversteins versus Jewish Chicago and Avy Meyer's Jewish Chicago 2011 mayoral and election analysis issue. Dear Mr. Myers, this firm has been retained by Debra and Ira Silverstein in connection with libelous and defamatory statements published by Jewish Chicago and you in Jewish Chicago's 2011 mayoral and election analysis issue. Shame on you, Avy. We submit that a number of statements in your 2011 mayoral and election analysis issue are defamatory and place the Silversteins in a false light. A statement is defamatory if it tends to harm a person's reputation to the extent that it lowers that person in the eyes of the community or deters others from associating with that person. Legal mumbo jumbo. A statement is defamatory per se if its defamatory character is obvious and apparent on its face and injury to the plaintiff's reputation may be presumed. More legal mumbo jumbo. Per se, defamation includes statements imputing an ability to perform or want of integrity in performing employment duties and statements imputing a lack of ability or otherwise prejudicing a person in his or her profession or business. More legal mumbo jumbo. We write to demand that you and Jewish Chicago retract its recently published false and malicious statements concerning our clients, Debra Silverstein and Ira Silverstein. We will not repeat, that's Senator Ira Silverstein. We will not repeat these statements here, but insist that your malicious accusations, for example, concerning Debra's diligence and efforts in the committeeman's office, Senator Silverstein's work regarding Boone School, and his communications and efforts on behalf of local rabbis and the Silversteins' family relationship and their work for the larger Jewish community be immediately retracted. The malicious statements contained within Jewish Chicago's 2011 mayoral and election analysis issue are demonstrably false and were known by you to be false when they were published. Such malicious and defamatory remarks have no place in responsible journalism and enjoy no protection under the law. Please advise us in writing by Friday, March 4th, of the steps you will take to retract these untrue statements. We are willing to discuss with you how such retractions and corrections should be accomplished. And, of course, if you refuse to remedy the harm you have caused, we reserve our right to pursue all legal remedies at our disposal. Very truly yours, Thomas C. Cronin. Well, I wrote back, Mr. Cronin. The story in Jewish Chicago was the result of many rigorous hours of interviews and studies, not to mention years of long and careful observation. There is nothing to retract. It's all true and then some. Debra Silverstein has refused and ignored a number of invitations to appear on my TV show and have her say. This offer is still open, and in fact, I invite both her and her husband to appear March 16th, a show we will air live on the internet. They are welcome to present their case, and if they can prove I made false and/or erroneous statements, I will publicly retract them. As he is a state senator and she is running for alderman, they are public figures. You failed to specify a single detailed item in your letter. There are serious laws about fraudulent lawsuits, and if necessary, I will take action. Sincerely, Avy Meyers. And now, on with our show.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet home Chicago. 2 is 4, 4 4 6. Come on, baby, now get your business fixed. Come on, honey, don't you?
Hi, I'm the real Marty Levinson, and I'm not threatening to sue Avy Meyer's brains out. Thank you. I'm not the real Marty Levinson, and I want to say a special extra thanks to the Silversteins for their kind offer to sue my brains out. Well,
they want to beat my brains out.
Election Day is coming this Tuesday, and you'll have a very special opportunity to stop the possibility of an absolutely horrid regime that would like to run our neighborhood. And, you know, I mean, hey, if you're into special interests, if you're into people who are getting their money from out of state and not out of the neighborhood, I mean, you've got that opportunity. Then again, there's a galvanizing force within the community, too, that is getting his money from the neighborhood, that doesn't have all these outside agitating supports, and is getting money from regular businesses and regular people. And that, of course, is the person who got the most votes in the initial election, and, of course, the final election this Tuesday, April 5th, and that is, the Vice Mayor of the City of Chicago, the Chairman of the Buildings Committee, somebody who was brought here by Joe Chuckche, Alderman Berny Stone.
Thank you very much, Avi.
How are you?
I'm good. I bore up under 2 elections in what, 6 weeks, and they tell me that I'm too old, but I've been going like 60 instead of 83.
And actually, you're showing a lot more vim and vigor than any other candidate in the race.
I bawled out the Sun-Times. I said, why is it every time you write my name you put comma 83 comma? I said, you don't do that with any other candidate. Why do you have to publish my age? Not that I'm ashamed of my age, but isn't that ageism? I said, you wouldn't state my religion, you wouldn't state my sex, you won't state what country my parents were born in. You won't state anything else because that would be politically incorrect. But why do you have to be guilty of ageism? But at least they agreed to spell my name right from now on.
Oh, that would be nice. You mean with the Y?
With the Y instead of the I-E, yes.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I remember your shock when I actually spelled your name. I remember you showed somebody. You spelled my name right. So anyway, we do have a campaign. We do have a neighborhood. And there's an awful lot going on.
Yes, there are. There is. I also told them that in spite of the fact that my opponent is backed by the ward committeeman, is backed by the mayor-elect, by all the unions, and obviously is the machine candidate, and I am the candidate who has no particular backing, that all I'm backed is by the people, is that I still ran #1 in February, and I thought I did pretty good.
Yeah, you did. There's no question about it. And I see more and more people in the community are not just coming around, but understanding the problems that are involved when your opponent, who's backed by people who have bad buildings in the neighborhood.
You got it. You got it. When we appeared before the editorial board, and I pointed out the fact that all these slumlords were backing her, she said, well, they were there before. Why didn't you do something about it? I said, we did. We brought them into housing court. I can't help it if the courts are so slow. And these guys are bad people, and they know they have high-priced lawyers, and they know how to get out of these things and delay.
Yeah, and actually your husband has on occasion represented those people.
Well, that I didn't know about, but...
As a matter of fact, I've got case and number and the whole shot, so...
well, I'm glad you got it. But
no, it definitely helps in these kind of situations, especially when they're so kind to offer to sue my brains out.
Okay. Well, truth is a defense.
Truth is not only a defense, it's... I just don't understand what is with those people. Summit Realty in particular, which is in this ward and very active, you've told me that, and actually it's a matter of public record, that 11 buildings of theirs in this ward in the last 5 years have been cited.
Well, 11 buildings have been cited, but I think only 5 or 6 of them are in this ward.
But let's also, just so people know, they own the big, massive court building type buildings.
Oh, yes, they have the big buildings.
So each building could represent several dozen tenants.
Yes.
So, yeah, not a good situation at all.
No, not at all.
So anyway, I also noticed that, well, besides for her outside agitator, the guy she's been running around with is one of the main arms of the video lottery people. And she, of course, is in favor of, well, I'm not, she is, of course, in favor of video lottery machines, so that wouldn't bother her at all.
That she indicated to the editorial board.
So she is in favor of video lottery. In other words, that means that when you go to Devon, or if you go to Tui, or you go to the little restaurant with the liquor license, they can put in video lottery machines.
That's correct. I think they indicated to me there's something like 40 sites in the ward that they could put in the machines.
Yeah. And right now, one of the good things I'll say about the city is the city don't want them.
No, we have absolutely banned them from the city.
Of course, she'd put them in.
No, well, I voted against putting them in.
Good move on your part. You've also voted against budgets on occasion.
Yeah, that's why I'm being punished.
Well, you didn't like the idea of a tax increase, and in this economy, I don't blame you.
Well, I pledged no tax increase as long as I'm alderman.
No, that sounds good. So you've got a pretty fierce volunteer force going this time.
Yes, I do. And what I'm really proud of is when I asked my colleagues in the council to take a picture with me, and if they support me, something like 42 aldermen stood behind me and supported me.
Great.
Including some of the people you would normally say are not my close friends in the council. So 42 out of 50, well, includes me, of course, supporting Berny Stone.
Excellent. And, the fact of the matter, listen, there's an awful lot you know. I mean, when we've talked about different budgetary matters and all the rest of it, you've got the potential to save a lot of money for the city with your ideas and plans.
Well, I hope so. And I can tell you this, that I feel that if we go ahead with some of my ideas, not only can we save money, but we can also help us stimulate the economy and perhaps pull out of this recession, at least on a local basis.
No, that'd be great. One of the things I want to remind people, too, because people tend to have short memories about certain things in terms of still being able to take action and get things moving. When we had that big snow, I mean, you privately dipped into your coffers, not the city coffers, and rented out bobcats and bought snow blowers and rented them out. And your whole force basically was busy clearing everybody's driveways and alleys and sidewalks and shoveling their cars out and all the rest of it. And you showed action on a ward-wide level that your opponents can't even begin to dream to be able to accomplish.
Well, we spent quite a bit of our campaign funds to do so, but it was well worth it because we were able to help people, and that's what it's all about. I think that's what it's all about, helping people.
Yeah, they'll only be able to mobilize a force when they get the outside agitators in that they're paying $75 a piece to on election day.
Well, they're not paying it. The unions are actually paying it.
Yeah.
If you pick up their what we call A1. A1 is when they get a contribution of more than $1,000, they have to file a statement, a disclosure statement. Every A1 that's filed, they have to file an A1 within a couple days. One A1 after another, where a union is paying the salaries of their workers.
Unions and out of state also.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they have virtually nobody from the neighborhood, virtually nobody. And if you take a look at yours, it's neighborhood, 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 neighborhood.
Well, I would hope that we're basically a neighborhood-based campaign. This is, campaigning today is a lot tougher than it used to be when I first started in politics. A political campaign has become a multi-$100,000 business, and of course has nothing to do with the amount that you generate in salaries or anything of that kind. It just costs too much to run for office. It's the worst part of running for office is raising monies, and it's terrible. It really is, and it doesn't stop with election day, because let's face it, the monies the city gives you for office expense is generally insufficient to meet those expenses, and you have to raise money during the course of non-election years too. So it becomes a continual drain on us as office holders. But that's all right. I enjoy doing what I do, and I see eventually if I can help people, that's what I want to do.
It's important. By the way, it's very important for me to mention that, of course, this show could have been half the Silversteins. Both Debra and Ira were invited to be here, and and have their say. And if they could actually have documented that I said anything wrong or did anything wrong or that I was erroneous in my statements, they had a public forum. We were willing to do this live on the internet, and never heard from them. Can you imagine?
Well, they'd rather threaten to sue you.
Well, that they're good at. And let's forget, it's not just threaten to sue me, threaten to sue my brains out. And of course, knowing how much my fabulous wealth and my hidden assets and all the rest of it, I actually have $7 million in cash hidden under the carpet in the living room.
No, I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either. Well, maybe a monopoly money. But in any event, Silversteins, you were invited. You could have had your say. You could have confronted me publicly with all these horrid lies I've been telling about you poor babies, you poor defenseless state senator, you poor defenseless ward committeeman. Aw, poor baby. Anyway, so let's talk about good people. Let's talk about you.
Well, it's nice of you to say that, but there are plenty of people who will say the opposite, including my opponents. But I'm proud of the wonderful people who have been supportive of me, and when I can get people like Sister Rosemary say nice things about me, I'm proud of things like that. When I can get people like you saying nice things about me, I'm proud of that. I went to a parlor meeting the other day with numerous rabbis, and when they were blessing me, then I was really sort of shaken, because I'm not used to being blessed. I got blessed by priests, I got blessed by rabbis. It's really humbling that even though after many years in politics, I'm really humbled by the fact that so many good people have been so nice to me.
I think it's important to point out too that it's not just because of past achievement. There's plenty of achievements going on now, and in a lot of ways, the last couple of years have been as productive as you've been.
Yeah, I think I've been more productive in the last 4 years than ever before. I admit that things have been tough the last 4 years. From a physical standpoint, we're not in good shape. I admit there are a lot of potholes, and we're behind in fixing things. I admit this, and I would hope that with a little change in the economic condition, with more people helping the city, and perhaps with our new mayor-elect, we'll get more of a focus on maintenance that will be able to get more work done. Because I got to tell you, in the last couple years, it's been hard to get some of that work that we used to get done almost immediately. It's hard to get it done. It's hard to get trees trimmed. It's hard to get a sunken sewer fixed. It's not easy. She says she's got secret sources that'll get it done for her. Well, I don't know what her secret sources are, But I'm more power to her if she's got secret sources. But, you know, I do the best we can. My staff is, I think, an excellent staff, and they work hard at their jobs. And main thing, you know, I had a call from Art Herman, my first aldermanic secretary, who's now retired living out in California. And he reminded me of what I told him when the first day he came to work for me. And when I told him they're not Democrats, they're not Republicans, they're not constituents. They're just people who live in the 50th Ward. And anytime someone calls, just get it done for them. That's our job, and that's what our job is. And that was my instructions to him at the time, and still my instructions to anybody who works for me. Get the job done, and get it done as quickly and as possible, and be nice to the people you're talking to, because each of my employees represents me, and the face that they give to the general public is my face. So I would hope that they are doing exactly what I tell them to do, and that is be nice to the people you talk to and get it done as quickly as possible. And you know, my staff doesn't ride the trucks, they don't do the job, but they're on top of everything. And we try and get it done as quickly as possible, and we don't do it based on who they voted for, who they didn't vote for. Well,
I know that there were a number. I know that from firsthand from people that even if people had Silverstein signs on their lawn, when the snowblowers that you privately rented and bought came by, they still cleaned them off.
That's right.
And you know, by the way, people should understand too that this whole business with the potholes isn't just here; it's throughout the city. But not so many ward offices are working as hard as the 50th Ward office in trying to remedy these problems.
And they've also got to understand that the hot asphalt is only available between April 1st and December 1st. And the cold patch that they use otherwise doesn't do the job. It's gone in a day or two. And not only that, but it's made up of a mixture which includes the little pebbles, and those little pebbles, when the cold patch is put in, go flying out of the pothole, and many times break windshields of your own car or cars behind you. So cold patch is really not very effective, and if it lasts a day, it's a long time.
Yeah, and well, hopefully April 1st is coming up pretty soon,
yes.
So those things will be filled.
In fact, if this is going on the air the Thursday before, it should be, April 1st would be tomorrow.
April 1st, happy April Fool's Day, everybody. And that'll be, yeah. So, but it won't be an April Fool's joke when they start filling the patches, hopefully.
No, hopefully we get it done as quickly as possible.
No, that sounds good. So, I mean, you gearing up? You going different places? You making phone calls?
Oh yeah, we got crews making phone calls. We got crews going door to door, and I'm doing all I can do, and I'm happy to meet with anybody and do anything I can, and hopefully we'll be successful on Tuesday.
No, that sounds good. And let's not forget, too, that you have no other alderman is open to the public as often as you are.
No, we're open 2 nights a week, and
it's Monday night and Thursday night.
Right, and it's first come, first served. No special favors to anybody, and it's like a butcher shop. You take your number, you get called in.
Yeah, I know. By the way, and when I show up, I gotta wait too. So, which is only fair. That's the democratic way to do things. That's for sure. So, in terms of, I want to say hi too. I've met a lot of the guys in your campaign, and they're very hard workers. And the interesting thing is that they believe in what they're doing, and some of them are more right wing, some of them are left wing. But you got a real good variety of people that know you, that believe in you, that understand the good that you're doing around here and want to see you win.
That's because I'm in the middle. I'm what's called a moderate. I'm not a right winger. I'm not a left winger. I'm a guy that's really in the middle, and I believe in the moderate way of doing things. I don't move. I'm not what they call a progressive. I'm not what they call a conservative. I believe in walking the middle road.
Yeah, I'm all in favor of real achievements. I mean, the thing is that your problems aren't going to get cemented over by a left wing or right wing whatever. It's going to be human beings with real solutions to real problems when it happens like that.
That's right.
So, in any event, for those who don't know, the ward boundaries basically are approximate. Will you want to give us the ward boundaries?
Howard on the north. Then you come down Western Avenue to Toohey, then Toohey over to Ridge, then Ridge down to Granville, Granville over to Oakley, Oakley down to Glen Lake, Glen Lake over to Campbell, Campbell down to Peterson, Peterson all the way over over to Monticello, Monticello up to Granville, Granville over to no, it's not Monticello. I think it's Lawndale.
Okay.
Lawndale over to Granville. Then we go over a half a block over. I forgot the name of the street. Then back up to Devon. Then Devon back all the way to Kedzie. Kedzie up to Howard.
Very good.
They're very. You know, when you got an irregular boundary like that, it's hard to draw the map.
Very hard.
You know, let me tell you something.
Sure.
People don't believe me, but in my mind's eye, I can pretty much picture almost every block in my ward.
Wow. Well, you've been through it, and I mean, you're always driving through the ward too.
Yeah, we try to, and that's one of the ways you find out things that are wrong. But the main thing is if people call you and tell you, you know, I got a sunken sewer, I got a pothole here and there, the lights out on Pratt Avenue, or the lights out on Thome or something. That's how you find out things are happening. But people think that you know. If they don't call, you don't know. We haven't got a board, for instance, when a light goes out, the light goes out on the board. They got to call us.
That definitely sounds like it would help the situation quite a bit.
Yeah.
Definitely help. So, yeah, you should call the Alderman's office, and the office number is?
The office number is 773-764-5050.
And people want to get involved in the campaign. Of course, that's good for the 50th.
773-539-0050.
And goodforthe50th.com. And you can catch the Alderman on Facebook. You can catch him in the office on Mondays and Thursdays. It's really impressive how many people you've got in that office working all the time.
Yeah.
And so much of it is volunteer.
Yeah, a lot of it's volunteer people, and we're fortunate that a lot of people have volunteered in the campaign, and some of the campaign staff, of course, is paid staff, but most of the staff is volunteer staff.
And so the election is this Tuesday, and early voting at this point is over.
Over, yes. It ended, I think, on the 30th or 31st. I don't remember.
So yeah, I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to early vote yet. Of course, we do tape this in advance. And by the way, I want to tell you too that we're going to do a special live show this Sunday morning. I'll be co-hosting with Rabbi Doug from the CAN TV studios, and I don't know if he'll be there live or if he'll be calling in, but Alderman Stone will be there with us, so we want to make sure you call in. Also, make sure you pick up the Northtown News Magazine election issue. And I want to point out very clearly that this is my doing, and Sonny Hirsch has nothing to do with the opinions in the paper. His opinions are his own, my opinions are my own. And, we do agree on some things, and of course we battle out a lot more than people think. But at this point, I want to thank Joe Chuck J for bringing you. I hope when we're on again next week, we'll have good news from Election Day. I want to urge you to vote early and often. I want you to vote for Alderman Stone. And I want to give the Silversteins an especially thank you for offering to sue my brains out.
Thank you, Bobby.
We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.